Have you ever felt a twinge of envy, or caught someone giving you a look that felt a little too intense? What if that simple, envious glance could actually cause real-world harm? For a huge number of people across the globe, this isn't just a superstition, it's a belief in an ancient curse that has persisted for thousands of years. You've probably seen it everywhere. A little blue eye on a bracelet, a necklace, maybe hanging in a car or a doorway. To some, it's a trendy accessory. To others, it's a serious protective charm. And behind that tiny symbol is one of the oldest and most widespread beliefs in human history, the evil eye. The strange part is that this belief isn't tied to just one culture. It appears across the Middle East, the Mediterranean, South Asia, Africa, and Latin America. It goes by different names and involves different rituals, but the core idea remains eerily the same. Someone looks at you with envy or ill intent, and that very gaze can bring you misfortune. But where did this powerful idea come from? Why has it survived for millennia, outlasting empires and adapting to the modern world? And why, in an age of science and technology, do so many people still turn to this ancient symbol for protection? Let's explore the fascinating history and psychology behind the evil eye and uncover why it remains such a powerful force in our world. The core concept of the curse at its heart, the idea is deceptively simple: jealousy can literally harm you. Not just emotionally or metaphorically. In many traditional belief systems, intense envy was thought to be a tangible force that could travel through a person's eyes and inflict sickness, bad luck, or even disaster upon its target. This isn't a new idea. In fact, it's one of the oldest fears we have on record. The belief's roots can be traced back thousands of years. Eye-shaped idols, possibly used for protection, have been found in places like Mesopotamia and date back as far as 300 BCE. Ancient Egyptians used the powerful Eye of Horus as a symbol of protection and healing. Later, in ancient Greece and Rome, renowned writers and philosophers like Plutarch discussed the evil eye not just as folklore, but as a real and dangerous phenomenon they tried to explain. From these ancient centers, the belief spread across Europe, North Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. What makes this so fascinating is that the evil eye isn't a single superstition that got passed around. It's a recurring pattern in human thought, a fear that seems to have emerged independently in different cultures. It speaks to a deep, primal anxiety about success and admiration. When someone is praised too openly, or when fortune smiles on them, it triggers an ancient question: what if all this positive attention is actually dangerous? This is why so many cultures simultaneously developed countermeasures. In some societies, people learn to avoid bragging about their good fortune. In others, they use specific prayers, gestures, or phrases to deflect potential envy. If you've ever heard someone say, "Masha'Allah," after a compliment in an Islamic context, or "God bless it," in others, you've witnessed a modern-day ritual designed to neutralize the evil eye. And that brings us to the key idea: the evil eye isn't really about a magical, evil eyeball. It's about the raw, social power of human envy. But as you dig deeper into the history, it gets even stranger. Because the iconic symbol we now associate with evil eye protection might not have started out as the thing people think it is. The symbol versus the belief. Let's talk about that famous blue and white charm. Today, when most people say evil eye, they're picturing the Nazar, a stylized glass eye that's especially common in Turkey and across the Mediterranean. It's worn on jewelry or hung in homes with the belief that it reflects or absorbs the harmful energy of an envious gaze. But here's a key distinction: the protective charm is not the same thing as the curse itself. In fact, calling the charm an evil eye is a bit of a misnomer. Its purpose is to protect against the evil eye. The belief in the malevolent gaze is ancient and abstract. The specific look of the protective charm, on the other hand, has evolved. In ancient Mesopotamia, eye-shaped idols and inscriptions were used. In Egypt, it was the Eye of Horus, a symbol for restoration and protection, which is part of a broader tradition of protective eye symbols but distinct from the envy-focused evil eye belief. It's widely believed the now famous blue glass amulets became popular in the Eastern Mediterranean for a few reasons. One popular theory is that the color blue was considered protective. But more intriguingly, the design was meant to stare back at the person casting the envious glance. The charm, in a way, is designed to return the gaze. That is a profoundly powerful psychological image. If the evil eye curse is fundamentally about the anxiety of being watched with envy, then a protective eye symbol delivers a clear message: I see you, too. This is one reason the belief has endured for so long. It isn't just a superstition floating in the ether, it's a form of social technology. It provides communities with a framework for navigating the complex emotions of jealousy, status, and success. Think about it: if you get a new job, have a beautiful child, or build a new house, people will admire you. But admiration can easily curdle into envy. The evil eye gives people a language to articulate and manage that social tension. It also helps explain why the belief became so deeply embedded in religious traditions. In Islam, the evil eye is acknowledged, and many Muslims use phrases like Masha'Allah, God has willed it, to attribute beauty to God and thus ward off envy. In some Jewish communities, protective symbols like the Hamsa or red strings are used in a similar vein. And while attitudes in Christianity vary, folk traditions in many historically Christian cultures still incorporate prayers or gestures to guard against misfortune born of jealousy. So, while the details and rituals differ, the emotional logic is remarkably consistent across the globe. Envy is a dangerous force, attention can be risky, and protection is paramount. The human impact. So, does anyone actually still use this stuff, or is it just ancient history turned into jewelry? The answer is, people use it. Everywhere. Walk through a marketplace in Istanbul, Athens, or Beirut, and you'll find Nazar charms on everything: bracelets, baby clothes, keychains, and hanging in doorways. Travel to Latin America, and you'll find related traditions of Mal de Ojo that involve red strings, specific rituals, and amulets. In India, the concept of Drishti leads people to use black dots, or even chili peppers and lemons, to ward off the evil eye. The exact form changes, but the underlying purpose remains identical: to protect a person, a home, or a child from the corrosive effects of envy. What's particularly striking is how often these beliefs center on children. This is no coincidence. In many cultures, children are seen as uniquely vulnerable because they are innocent, beautiful, and often praised openly. A cute baby is the perfect target for both admiration and, potentially, the subconscious envy that can accompany it. As a result, families might pin a small evil eye charm to a baby's clothes, respond to compliments with a protective phrase, or apply a small black dot of kohl to a child's cheek to mar their perfection and deflect a harmful gaze. And this is where you see the belief jump from folklore into real-world behavior. It shapes how people talk to each other, how they give and receive compliments, how they decorate their homes, and even how they think about their own success. In a way, it can function as a social regulator, discouraging boastfulness and encouraging humility. There's also a powerful psychological component at play. Humans are pattern-seeking creatures. When something bad happens shortly after a moment of praise or a feeling of being envied, our brains are wired to connect those dots. The belief in the evil eye provides a ready-made explanation. Whether the charm worked or the curse was real is secondary to the fact that the belief itself has real social and psychological power. And in modern life, that power has far from vanished. People still wear evil eye jewelry for a mix of reasons: partly cultural heritage, partly aesthetic appeal, and partly a quiet, persistent feeling that it carries meaning. For some, the faith is deep and literal. For others, it's a connection to their roots. But even for those who just like the design, the symbol comes loaded with thousands of years of human history. If you're enjoying this deep dive into strange but profoundly human beliefs, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it tells the algorithm that you want more stories that explore the intersection of history, psychology, and culture. The modern surprise: here's the surprising part. Beliefs like the evil eye don't survive for millennia by accident. They survive because they are incredibly adaptable. Today, the evil eye is no longer confined to rural villages or ancient rituals. It has exploded onto fashion runways, social media feeds, and into the collections of high-end jewelers. Celebrities like Meghan Markle, Gigi Hadid, and Kim Kardashian have all been photographed wearing evil eye charms, bringing the ancient symbol to a massive global audience. This has created a fascinating modern split in its meaning. On one hand, you still have the literal belief. For many, the charm is a genuine tool to block harmful energy and protect against envy. On the other hand, it has become a powerful symbol of cultural identity. For people in the diaspora, wearing an evil eye can be a way to signal their heritage and a connection to their ancestry. And on a third level, it functions as a psychological symbol. For some, the charm acts as a simple, wearable reminder: stay humble, protect your peace, don't overshare, and be mindful of the energy you attract. This multi-layered meaning is precisely why the belief remains so resilient. It can operate on different levels for different people, all at the same time. There's even a modern, digital version of the evil eye's logic. Think about how people talk about bad vibes, jinxing something by speaking too soon, or the need to protect the energy. These modern phrases, while seemingly secular, often serve the exact same social and psychological purpose as the ancient belief. They provide a way to talk about the feeling that success can attract unwanted attention, and that some of our wins should be quietly guarded. In that sense, the evil eye never really left. It just got a modern makeover. What can you do? If you're curious about evil eye protection, it's interesting to look at the practices themselves. While science hasn't proven that a glass charm can physically stop bad luck from a glance, there is undeniable value in the human, social, and psychological side of these traditions. Across countless cultures, people do a few common things to protect what they value. They wear a protective symbol, like a Nazar charm, a Hamsa, or a red string. They say a blessing or a protective phrase like Masha'Allah when giving or receiving praise. They consciously avoid excessive bragging, especially about their children, health, or success. They use rituals, like cleaning a home or saying a prayer, to symbolically reset their environment and their energy. Even if you don't believe in the supernatural element, many of these habits make practical sense. They encourage humility. They foster a sense of calm and control. They help people feel grounded in a world that can often feel chaotic and unpredictable. And if you do believe in the evil eye, these practices connect you to a chain of human culture that stretches back for millennia. That's the real takeaway here. The evil eye is not just about a mysterious curse. It's about envy, it's about vulnerability, and it's about all the ways we, as humans, have tried to protect the things and the people we love the most. In the end, that tiny blue eye charm carries a story as vast as human history itself. It can be a simple piece of jewelry, a deeply religious symbol, a proud cultural tradition, or a psychological shield against the uncomfortable feeling that someone else's envy can actually reach you. That's why the evil eye has survived for so long. It gives a name and a face to a universal human fear. The fear that being seen too clearly, being too successful, or being too happy can make us vulnerable. So, that leaves us with a final question for you. Do you see the evil eye as primarily a superstition, a meaningful cultural tradition, or a surprisingly insightful way that humans have managed the toxic power of envy for thousands of years? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos that uncover the hidden histories behind our everyday beliefs, make sure you subscribe and stay with us.